Hi guys, Jite with spiritsvessel.com and the Spirits Vessel YouTube channel, and I am doing the weekly tarot reading for Cancer Sun, Cancer Moon, and Cancer Rising. And if you're cross-watching for a Cancer in your life, this is the place to get some information about what's going on with them. And tuning into you guys' energy feels pretty good, actually. Kind of feel like dancing in my chair. I don't know what's with that. I love Cancer energy. My mom's a Cancer. And although sometimes your guys' energy can really upset the hell out of me, because, you know, fire signs, we tend to want things spelled out for us. And with water signs, you gotta feel it out more. There's a lot of silence when they're mad, and a lot of going inward and tending to their emotions when they're mad, especially with a Cancer. You just can't push a Cancer person. They're just gonna go and hole up somewhere, and the more you try to push them, the more they're going to put that wall up and be like, nope, I don't feel like dealing with this right now, and so I'm not going to, which can be frustrating. But I don't feel that going on with you guys. I feel a lot of warmth. I feel a lot of happiness, actually. I think this Leo season is really nice because this last month has just been, in July was just a shit fest for Cancer and Capricorn, and pretty much everyone else, but for Cancer and Capricorn especially, it was really, really tough. And I think having all this nice, warm Leo energy is really cool if you guys are kind of like dating a lot right now, which I see that happening for you guys. I see a lot of different, maybe romantic interests. Like there could be like 4 or 5 different people that you're talking to. If it's something related to work, there's a lot of newness in the job. That's really what I'm feeling like newness. Like this month has been a rebirth for you guys. And so I'm using the Santa Muerte Oracle deck, and the card I got is number 21 in the Santa Muerte Oracle deck. And the Santa Muerte Oracle deck is 32 cards. They are split up into 4 different sections of 8 cards each, and each of them have to do with the Kabbalah. And the Kabbalah, you know, if you study that, if not, well, basically there's 4 different sections of reality to the Kabbalah, and it's kind of explaining these high spiritual ideals and how they go from being just this nothingness to, okay, now it's a etheric form and an energetic form, and now it's finally taking physical form, and that whole process of doing that. So a 21 card in the Santa Muerte deck is a part of the formations part of the card. It's right before something, the idea is starting to take physical form right before we take action on it. And this card is the instincts card. So, you know, this card is really tapping us into not overthinking things. If you're feeling an impulse to do something, you should do it. Obviously within reason. But sometimes we can tend to think of our instincts as something that is more primitive in nature. And some people don't listen to their instincts, or I don't want to say they demonize their instincts, but they just tend to think, well, you know, that's just a lower basal form of thinking. You know, and Cancer can tend to worry about things a little bit too much. And like I said, you know, sometimes Cancer can tend to start to stuff their emotions down because they don't want people to make them feel like they're silly for having them. So sometimes they can tend to hide how they feel about something. And if when we were kids, we started doing that, that can lead to repression when we're older. So I would say if anything is firing you up right now, but you're also kind of being triggered that, okay, maybe this is childish, or, like another thing I'm really picking up on is like, okay, it's like I want to go, it's like, okay, you meet someone on a date and they're really hot and you're like, I really want to go home with them, but oops, I might be a bad girl if I do that. That's slutty if I do that. And it's like, well, where is that coming from? Like, I mean, really, like, where is that coming from? Or, like with men, I think men are starting to get a really bad rep now, for their, there's a whole lot of toxic masculinity going on. And so I think a lot of men out there are repressed, especially Cancer men. I think a lot of Cancer men have it pretty hard because they're so nurturing, and sometimes that can be a really tough environment to be in when you're a man that's really connected with his emotions. And, sometimes men really like hold themselves back in the bedroom or hold themselves back in life in general. Like they're afraid to let that assertiveness come out because they were taught that it was a bad thing. And at the same time, a lot of women are like, well, I want a really assertive, dominant man. And then at the same time, it's like they're telling men not to be dominant and assertive. So I'm feeling like, obviously I don't know if this is literally what's going on with people, but these are just some examples. It's like, take a risk, for crying out loud. Your instincts, your instincts are smarter than you think that they are. If you're feeling these impulses to do something, try it out. Try it out, as long as you're not hurting anyone. You don't want to keep repressing it. I mean, at the very least, if you're not going to do it, at least acknowledge that it's there. And it's feeling really sexual in nature. And I mean, look at this picture. Man, I don't know if, I don't know if any of you Cancers are like feeling really sexually repressed. Like maybe you guys were raised in like a kind of like a Catholic environment. Some environment growing up where like the sexual energy was really looked down upon. Well, and sexual energy is one of those things where I think in America, a lot of the time too, it's like when women are really empowered with their sexuality, it can be seen as kind of scary and a threat. That's kind of what I'm feeling really intensely from like tuning in, and sexual repression sucks. I mean, that will cause all kinds of issues in someone's life. It blocks creativity, so if that's what's going on with you guys, really use that full moon to explore this. And it's interesting because, you guys are ruled by the moon. So every full moon is going to be heightened state of emotions for you guys. And this might be something that the collective consciousness is purging right now. And, if you think about it, if we were to get into a more Aquarian sort of world, Aquarius is very progressive, it's very forward thinking. It wants freedom of expression. It wants individuality. It wants independence. Well, God, think of how many people are sexually repressed in America. And how, if you think about a lot of the violence that's been going on in America over the last few months, you could probably trace a lot of that back to a lot of people being sexually repressed and not getting those needs met. And those are some extreme examples of what happens when you have that level of oppression. But, it can be a pretty scary thing when you don't address issues of oppression. So, I'm using the Wild Unknown deck. I'm just going to pull some cards to get some more information about that, those instincts. That instinct card. Why are you guys fighting your instincts? Don't you know you've been right more than you've been wrong? There's like so much... I'm really feeling this, like... It's like you guys are happy and at the same time you're worrying over stuff. About like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Ugh. Why? Maybe I shouldn't have spent that money. Maybe I shouldn't have gone on that trip. Maybe I indulged a little too much. You didn't. Whoa! These cards wanted to come out. Ten of Wands in reverse. A lot of anxiety. You know, you might not be outwardly showing this, but a lot of anxiety going on underneath the surface. And you know what? At least when you're at a 10, you're at rock bottom and it can't get any worse. I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh. You know, whenever I see the Ten of Swords, it's always like it's like, oh my God, it can't get any worse from here. And actually, this is one of those situations where it can't get any worse. You're at rock bottom. And so the only way out is up. And guess what? This came in upright. So even though there's all this anxiety going on with you guys, there's also this amazing abundance that is not just something felt inwardly, it's felt outwardly as well. And I said this in the Aries reading, but you know, the four feathers, 4 is a sign of stability. It's a harmonious number. It's a sign of balance, of stable foundations. If you think about it, you have to build a house with 4 different sides, right? And that structure has been firmly in place, and you've got 9 coins to also celebrate. So maybe you guys have been getting a promotion, a raise in pay. I could definitely see that going on with you guys. And there's definitely a time right now that you're really feeling the effects of all the hard work that you've put in. You're definitely getting to harvest right now. The High Priestess. So, man, you guys are really in touch with your instincts right now and your spiritual knowledge. And I think outwardly people are recognizing this too. I think there's been a lot of times when Cancers have been able to just call things right out. Cancer is a very psychic sign. You guys have very prophetic dreams. Very prophetic dreams. And there was, you know, one of my dear friends, her and I had a falling out because we're both Sagittarians, but she's got a we're going to talk at some point, but she's got a Cancer moon, and man, that girl's psychic. Man, she's psychic. And she just knows things, and it's very hard to hide things from her because she can pick up on any subtle change in energy. I kind of feel like that's where you guys are at right now. You know, people just, you can't be lied to right now because you're really perceptive. You know, words can lie, but energy and emotions can't. So the Hermit in reverse. Now, even though there is a active time period for you, I think there's a lot of, I think you guys are really getting out there, really feeling that Leo energy. I could see that there's a lot of stuff going on with work. I also think that you guys, whenever you have a moment for downtime, you are taking it. And for some of you, I think that even though you're there, and it's like you're there, but you're not there at the same time. There's a little bit of distractedness going on with you guys. It could be because of the fear going on. It's almost like you're having fun, but you don't want to have too much fun because you're still kind of reeling from July. Four of Wands upright. So that's the second time I'm seeing the energy of 4. Again, this is stability. This is having a lot of passion and enthusiasm and being able to channel that appropriately. And that's coming in at the middle of all these cards. The Hierophant. And, you know, the Hierophant is the card of Taurus. Could be a Taurus person in your life right now. This could also mean that you guys are moving more into a mentoring teaching role, perhaps at your job. Perhaps you finished grad school and now you're teaching. There's also, with the Instinct card of the Santa Muerte Oracle deck, if you take the 1 and the 2, that breaks down to 3. So maybe people, you know what, another thing that that came to mind too, I think people are really seeking you out for advice right now. Yep, they are coming to Mama Cancer and they're like, so what do you think about this? And not that people aren't already going to Cancers for advice anyways, because they are the mother of the zodiac. But I think even you are like, what is going on? Why is everyone coming to me right now? Like, it's not that, no, not that you're, you know, not that you're shunning that. It's just something that's come up in your awareness. You're like, okay. The Fool in reverse. Yeah, so maybe this is happening on a bigger scale. Maybe you guys are starting to do life coaching. Maybe the idea is coming to mind that you're starting to do life coaching right now. The Fool is undertaking a new journey. Are some of you guys moving? Are some of you starting a new job? I think some of you are, like I said, what other reading were they? Was it Gemini? I think it was Gemini where they were starting to think about being in a teaching role. I don't remember. But regardless, I think that something shifted with you guys. Cancer has always been really psychic, really on it, really knowing things. It's you know, some people have to research a lot to know something. Cancer just knows. You guys just know things. And I think it's been taken for granted for a really long time that you just know things. And it's kind of been shut down and not taken seriously that you just know things. And something shifted with you guys to where not only do you know, but everyone else knows that you know. And this is a new beginning for you guys. That's what's happening. And I think there's a little bit of a, it's almost like who, me? Like, you want me to do what? Like, why are you at me? That's kind of how I'm feeling. You're kind of, it's like this energy going on. Or you're like starting a new job and you're just immediately good at it. And you don't even, and it's really kind of, it's blowing your mind how good you are at what you're doing right now. And I think that feeling of empowerment is really new for you. Oh my goodness, I can't make this up. I can't make this up. The Fool followed by the World card. So you guys mastered something. Mastered something to the point where now people are recognizing that you've mastered it. And also, you know that you've mastered it. And it's something that is felt internally. So the Fool followed by the World card. definitely a karmic cycle that has ended. If I saw like Seven of Swords here or more Swords cards, I would say, you know, you were the fool in this situation and you had to just kind of get that out, excuse me, get that out karmically, and then now you can kind of, okay, you mastered that, you know, you mastered that, now you have the world, blah, blah, blah. But the only sword card in this that was problematic was the 10. What did I say about the 10? The 10 is a final. Can't get any worse from there. You mastered that internal anxiety, that worrying. I think there's so much good stuff going on in your life right now. It is just getting the point where even Cancer and Virgo are the two signs that worry the most. I think even you guys are like, okay, this is just ridiculous at this point. And because you've mastered this, you can't deny it anymore that you mastered it. July was like the end of probably a 3, 4, 5 year phase for you guys of just being in the shit. Just a lot of shit was dumped on you guys. Holy crap. Wow. The last 3 years have been a epic flaming shit pile for you guys. And so being in this role of High Priestess right now, you guys earned it. Because that's another thing I'm picking up on too. It was a flaming hot shit pile for you guys, and you knew it was a flaming hot shit pile for you guys. And what I mean by that is that it was a lot of people doing fuck shit. Doing fuck manipulative shit. And you knew it the entire time. And I think there was a lot of lessons where it's like, you know what? I should have taken that promotion. I shouldn't have trusted that person. I should have listened to myself. I knew I should have done it that way. Why didn't I do it that way? Well, it happened so many times that finally you did start listening to yourself. And all the times where you listened to yourself, you ended up being right. And now you know this. There was a shift that happened. So 10 of Wands in reverse. A lot of energy right now. A lot of sometimes it can feel like a little bit of a burden, but it's a mastery. Okay, 10s are always a completion. You have 10 or 2 10s cards in this reading, and the World card and the Fool. You guys are done this week. You're done. You're done. You're done. You're done. You're done. You're done with that phase. Oh my goodness, and the Wheel of Fortune. Come on. You know what the Wheel of Fortune? Fate is always turning. And that's the thing with the Wheel of Life. Sometimes you spin it and you end up bankrupting. And then other times you spin it and you win a jackpot. And that's what this card's telling me, is that karmic wheel turned. This is one of those readings where I'm like, any day now you guys could win the fucking lottery. Or like tomorrow, you know, someone gives you a house. I mean, seriously, like, you know, that Wheel of Fortune at the end of that reading, you've got 2 10s cards and you have the World card. I mean, this karmic phase, and let's be real here. This was karmic. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have 6 major arcana cards in this reading. Major arcana is always karmic. So you got over this, and whatever this pain, whatever the hell this fuck shit was, this is what is going to start. This is going to be the fuel that you use for this next phase in your life. You're going to use all this pain and all this heartache and all these lessons that you've learned to fuel this next part of your life. And trust me, it's going to give you a level of compassion. It's going to give you a level of sincerity and authenticity that you wouldn't have had otherwise. And it's going to be your greatest blessing. You might not be at that point yet, but I think a lot of you are. I think a lot of you, I mean, literally something huge shifted recently for you guys. And like I said, that Wheel of Fortune came in reverse. So there was that Wheel of Karma just turned almost seemingly overnight. And I think by the time we're in Virgo season, it's going to really be real. Now, I think when we're in Capricorn season, you guys are going to have one more big purge. But then after that, I think it's going to be really smooth sailing. That rock bottom you guys had been feeling, I just don't think that's it. Don't start thinking that is a reality that's going to stay, because it's not. Man, you guys did some heavy karmic work. What in the world? Cancer. I love it. Did I mention my mom's a Cancer? So, that is so cool. Okay. That's the reading. That's all I got for right now. That really makes me happy, because I have a few Cancers in my life that, I mean, obviously, love my mother very deeply, but then, I have other Cancer people in my life where I'm like, oh, they're gonna get better. Yay. Anyways, okay. That's it. If you feel like that reading resonated with you, please like and subscribe to my channel. And if you'd like a personal reading, you can head on down below. I will link, my website is spiritsvessel.com, and I do astrology readings as well. So anyway, guys, that's it. I'm done. Have a good one.